Hey guys, so this is episode 2 of this kind of mini series I'm thinking about, I guess, publishing or putting together. I have nothing else to do at work. It's extremely slow. It's a Sunday in 80-degree weather in central Jersey. So obviously there's nothing to do. Everyone's at the beach, and I figured why not talk about maybe things that you have been interested in, as is maybe investing, or maybe starting your own business, or maybe just wanting to grow your portfolio, or maybe you're just bored. So, anyways, any of those reasons, great. Good for you. I'm here to, I guess, help you out or give you ideas. Um, Only because I have a functioning business, and also because I know what I'm doing. Uh, and I've been in the restaurant business for over 15 years, but I would like to do more with what I got. So let me explain some things to you. Basically, my dad started the business. He had a chicken business prior, and then he realized in central Jersey, specifically Warren, New Jersey, which is then half farmland, he realized that there was no Afghan restaurant, or you'd have to drive all the way to New Brunswick to get some kind of kebabs, rice, salad, and bread. So he knew, and it is true to this day, that Afghan food is completely different compared to any type of food out there. It's not overly spiced. Ingredients are fresh, organic, non-GMO, just like they do in Afghanistan or in the village in Afghanistan. So then he took all the money that he had when he sold his partnership at a fried chicken store, and he opened his own restaurant in Warren. Long story short, from 42 seats, now it's 200 seats, extremely successful. But the only thing that my dad made a mistake of, because, I mean, it's my dad, he's stubborn, so he does his business the way that he does, is that he expanded the restaurant instead of opening a second location. Here's where my opinion comes in. So why not open 2 locations and have 2 streams of income, right? Even if you have to put a little bit money in to build it, long term, you'll get that money back within a year or two because of the profits. Hey, you can even put yourself on payroll there too and go from restaurant to restaurant. But my dad wanted to cater to those big parties, which I don't blame him. Cater to a lot more catering orders, which I don't blame him as well. Thing is, though, our demographic, which is Central Jersey, problem is that when it's nice out, everyone's outside. No one comes in to eat. Weekends are the only times that saves us, basically. So that was the tough part. Fast forward, now I have my own restaurant with 2 partners. How it works is this. You guys honestly do need money to start something. It's unfortunate, and money makes the world turn. That's a fact. So if you're good at something, or if you are of value, or like the Joker said in The Dark Knight, if you're good at something, never do it for free. I would highly, highly recommend perfecting your trade first, or becoming some type of niche thing, and then talk to some friends, see if they know people, make sure they're people that they can vouch for, or your friends have money, so then you can vouch for them, and open something up. Do something, like I said in The Office, if you're just sitting on your money doing nothing, then your money, well, I butchered that, sorry. But basically the quote was is that if your money is just sitting in the bank doing nothing, you're not making money. Invested in real estate or whatever. The key word is investments. So now people, they invest things in Stash or Robinhood or Fidelity or 401k, things like that. But the thing is that you should also invest it in business, small businesses, so that in return you can get something back. You can help the community. You can learn things from that business when you do another business or expand that business. So we had we have an investor. He didn't know anything about restaurants, but he was good at finance and all that stuff. We had a former chef who was willing to try new things and still keep it to the Afghan cuisine. And then we had me, who has all of the experience, all the knowledge, and all of the connections of a restaurateur. And thank God, here we are 2.5 years, doing great. So the next step now is to expand. In my opinion, give it 2 years. We did not take a paycheck for at least 6 weeks because there were some days where we were making $150 to $350 the first 6 weeks because we were new. The location that we're at did also play a role. We're in the corner of an L-shaped mall, so no one could really see us. We heavily relied on word of mouth, which in my opinion is always the best kind of advertisement, but also we relied on online marketing and advertising, which I'm also have a good knowledge about for that. Also a lot of friends. A whole lot of my friends came, which was very, very heartwarming, and it helped a lot. So also I'd like to apologize ahead of time. I don't know how to do any type of graphics on how to put things up on the screen. So you might just have to listen as if this was a podcast or something like that. But anyways, I'm also gonna extract the sound from this and turn it into a podcast, FYI, for people who enjoy podcasts. So back to the topic. Yeah, so you're gonna need money. You're gonna need to perfect what you're good at, or people that you know that you're good at. If you're good at nothing, that's a boring life. Get good at something. Turn a hobby into something that you really, really enjoy. Or get to know people or surround yourselves with people who are like that. And then work your way up. Work hard, you know? Oh, sorry, nose itches. But 2.5 years, save all your profit, pay everything off. You should have in a bank, and this is speaking from just a small business perspective, you should have in your bank at least 3 to 6 months for a rainy day. I'll give you a perfect example. We had a pandemic this year, and it was horrible. We were closed for 50 days. But you know what we did for 2.5 months beforehand when we first opened? We did not touch any of the money in the bank at all. We just paid our employees, that's it, and paid our bills. So we had enough, and still do, money where if we shut down for 3 months, we can still sustain our payroll, our bills, and our rent, and keep moving forward. The only bill that we wouldn't be paying as much for would be utilities, and we wouldn't be even paying taxes because we're not open. So I highly recommend that. That's a conservative point of view, but you should take that as an everything point of view for any type of business. Sorry again for that itchy nose. That you order, or I mean that you open, because you never know in case anything happens. I'll tell you a side note, something that just tells you that God is always watching. So we were in the process of opening another restaurant, about 3 times the amount of seats and space in Morristown, off of the main road, near the green. Perfect location. It was an existing restaurant. They closed down. We had someone look into it. It wasn't even on the market. We contacted the landlords. We had to sit down. And then they gave us the lease after we had agreed on the pre-lease. And their full lease was horrible. There were like 20 things that we did not like, that we felt very uncomfortable like signing the lease for. So they basically, you know, when you're in negotiations for a lease, you should give a little and take a little, right? In their case, out of the 20 points that we pointed out when we wanted fixed, they only changed one thing, and they never met us halfway with any of those other things. Long story short, 3 weeks in, we were about to send them our final draft, and they emailed us. They said, we met with someone 3 days earlier. They gave us a check on the 3rd day. We gave them the lease on the 2nd day. So have a good life. And we're like, wow, that's kind of a shitty thing to do. We thought that you wanted to work with us because, and they were giving us crap about how they don't want to just sign any random people, but they wanted someone who had a trusted brand, like a family run restaurant, which we are. So then that was in November. Yeah, I was pretty bummed out for all of December. Then this whole thing happened. And let me tell you, one of the clauses of the 20 clauses that we did not like was called Act of God clause, where something bad happens, something crazy happens, like a tornado, and the restaurant was the only thing standing, you still have to pay full rent, even if no one's going out or nothing's happening or death everywhere. And we're like, can we at least pay 50% of the rent or 25% because full rent is kind of steep for something that you can't control? They said nope. So that, in my opinion, when you're negotiating with someone, you kind of just see what kind of people they are, how cheap they are, and I mean, it's understandable if it's your main source of income, but they had other full-time jobs, and this was clearly an investment for them, and they just wanted someone to go in there and just open up right away. So that saved. We were saved. In my opinion, we were just saved. We dodged a bullet there. But back on point, save up when you open a business. Do not get money from banks if your business isn't doing so well. You have to really, really sit down and rethink your strategy. So we were doing